taken a lot of cases in my time. This case of the cupcake killer, as I like to call it, was certainly the one that took the air out of my souffle. Who would have thought that a baker could cook up something so deadly? And they say there's no such thing as death by chocolate.
Are you Albert Miller, private investigator?
As a matter of fact, I am. Why, is someone looking for me? I knew he was looking for me, but the fact that he didn't look like my usual clientele, and was obviously stressed, intrigued me.
Well, actually, I am, sir. You see, my name is Vincent Baker, and I'm a baker, and there's a cooking competition today that I'm entered in. See, sir, I'm considered a grandmaster cupcake baker, and right before the competition started, I came back to my kitchen to find my recipe had been stolen, and my assistant chef was dead.
I see. So you want me to nab the sucker who did it?
Exactly, and return my cupcake recipe, if at all possible.
Alright, I'll get right on it. It had all the makings of a classic case. Murder, theft, and it left behind a sticky situation. When I got to the scene of the crime, they had gathered up the only people who didn't have a verified alibi. We were left with 3 suspects. Not all these foodie types are cream puffs, if you know what I mean. Sure, some are downright mental. Like Odor Grubberson here, known in the cupcake industry as Grubs. Don't put your fingers too close or one might go missing. He once ate 100 wieners on a coffee break just because he could. Some people thought of him as disgusting, some people thought of him as a goddamn American hero. I thought of him as my prime suspect. I like to describe men like good old Johnny and Yen over here as Jewish Catholics. I like to say there are a lot of things, but it's all just an act. They want to sell you something. In Johnny's case, it's restaurants. The man owns several big box chains throughout the United States. He's also the head judge of the event. He claims he was on a business call when the crime occurred. Rumor has it that him and my client were previously trying to arrange a deal for a restaurant, but it fell through. I have a hunch that the crime may have been retaliation for the deal not getting cooked up. Veronica Rockhart was unlike any woman I had ever met. She was the love of my life. She made a ham on rye like no one else. She was sweet when she needed to be, and quite possibly the most dangerous woman I'd ever met. Unfortunately, our need for money consumed both of our lives, and we drifted apart once her Cooking with Live Animals TV show made it big in Asia. I haven't seen her in 2 years. Grumps seemed nervous, too. Conventional wisdom pointed me towards him as the culprit, but I still had to question other suspects. Alright, Ed. What do you know about what happened here today?
Well, probably just as much as you do.
Yeah, but I want to hear it from you.
Wow, Vince went to go talk to the judges, and then when he got back, he found his assistant dead, and then he found his cupcake eaten and his recipe stolen.
You ever eaten one of Vince's cupcakes?
Well, yeah, I always appreciate a good cupcake or two. Gotta scout out the competition, you know?
Actually, I don't really. Did you like the cupcake?
Yeah, one of the best I ever had.
Worth dying for?
If I was desperate.
Alright, no more further questions. Alright, this won't take long. I don't have very many questions.
Shh! I won't compromise the quality of my chicken nuggets. I'll see you in court. Well, I have some information for you.
This caught my attention. Very rarely did a suspect seem to want to tell me everything they knew.
It had to be Grubbs. He was romantically involved with Baker's assistant, and he just found out that she was leaving him for another man.
How do you know this?
Because she was leaving him for me.
Well, this certainly made things more interesting. Thank you, Mr. Nguyen. I have no more questions. It was so obvious. How could I have not seen it before? Grubbs may have been compulsive, but he wasn't vicious. Nguyen didn't have a motive, but given my history with Veronica, I should have known. Now, to be quite frank, I don't think you have anything to do with this murder, but I like to be thorough.
You always were, Al. I never saw you work, but I could tell.
She was trying to make things personal. I couldn't let that happen. That was in the past, and I'm sure we're both much happier now. Now, where were you when the murder occurred?
I was preparing to make my cupcake for the contest.
Do you still make them the same way?
Of course I do.
Inexplicably, a question popped into my head. I didn't think to ask it to Grubs. Did you think you were going to win the competition?
Not really, no.
Then why'd you enter?
You never really know unless you try.
I told her she could pack up her things and leave. All indicators pointed to Grubs, but I still wasn't convinced. Something didn't seem quite right. There was a piece of the puzzle I still wasn't seeing. Eventually, my client came in to talk to me again. I have a logical answer, but it just doesn't seem right.
Well, just go with the logical one. It's usually right.
I have one final question.
What's that?
What are in those cupcakes of yours?
Is it relevant to the case?
Never know, it could be.
Just the usual. Flour, eggs, sugar, butter, and a secret ingredient.
What's that?
Cinnamon.
It was Veronica. How could I have been so stupid?
What?
It was Veronica. Grubs is allergic to cinnamon. And so Grubs couldn't have eaten the cupcake. You're obviously in debt. You needed a motive to get money and the cupcake contest would give that to you. So you offed his assistant and got rid of the recipe so he couldn't make the cupcake so you would win. It had to be you.
You can't prove a thing!
Well, I'm sure forensics can dig something up for me.
How can I pay you?
Just my normal salary.